Hunting monsters. A skill that requires a mastery of your weapon. A skill that requires knowledge of what you are fighting to know their weaknesses and strengths. A skill that requires you to stay on your toes and choose wisely on what you want to do, or you will be punished. A skill that allows you to use your surroundings as a mean of trapping or hurting the monster. A skill that requires you to craft better weapons and armor to hunt even bigger monsters. And while doing all of this, you get to see an amazing world filled with such different locations and ecosystems. But why do we do all of this? Why spend so much time mastering hunting monsters? Because it's fun. But also, it makes you feel like a goddamn badass.
She doesn't give me the option.
Monster Hunter Wilds. Oh, how I've been waiting so long for this game. Monster Hunter has always been a line of games that has been so unique as there isn't a series like it. Many attempts have been made of Monster Hunter style, but they usually always fall short compared to this vast world of Monster Hunter. I might be a little biased on how I review this game, as yes, I love Monster Hunter, but not everything I have to say is all rainbows and sunshine for the series. One thing I will be doing a lot is comparing how this game feels to Monster Hunter Worlds, as it was the one other Monster Hunter game I played and the one I feel this game has the most similarities to. But before we get started, 96% of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, and I would greatly appreciate it if you just hit that button. It is completely free and you're coming back anyways, so why not hit it? So, Monster Hunter is all about hunting down monsters. So how does it feel? It has always felt really nice, but Wilds has made it almost perfect in my opinion. World's movement was, sluggish. Running felt slow, turning into different direction takes so much time, the lock-on feature for monsters felt terrible in my opinion, and some weapons just felt really slow. Wilds fixed these issues. Running feels actually really good, and turning is easy and fast. The focus mode feels so much better compared to the lock-on camera in Worlds, and the weapons don't feel slow if you hit a monster. One thing that I love is that the game rewards you for hitting a target with less end lag, meaning you have more time to dodge or do another move if you hit the monster. But when you miss, you will become a sitting duck for longer, which gives a time for the monster to punish you, which is in my opinion a great way to stop spamming of attacks and overall requires you to use some brain power to hit a monster repeatedly. All the weapons have a fun way to deal damage, with some requiring a little more skill to use, but once you get to the hang of it, it feels amazing. So, all the core mechanics of Monster Hunter is super fluid and smooth, but Capcom introduced some much needed mechanics that make the gameplay that much more enjoyable. We already talked about it a little, but the focus mode feels absolutely amazing and way more precise way for fighting a monster, but with this focus mode comes wounding and focused weak point attacks. If you hit a monster repeatedly in one spot, the spot can become wounded, which is like a weak spot for the monster until you finally break that part of the body using your basic attacks, or you can use your focus mode weak point attack to deal a ton of damage and obliterate the weak spot and stutter the monster, or sometimes knock it down. This speeds up fighting monsters immensely and feels like an amazing addition, as with Worlds, it feels really slow just to kill almost anything when you start off. So we talked a lot about the player, but how do the monsters feel? I haven't fought all the monsters yet, but the monsters I did fight all felt super unique and interesting. One thing that I didn't like about Worlds was that most of the monsters felt really similar to each other, and some of them had attacks that were basically the same. I am not saying that they weren't unique monsters in Worlds, but compared to Wilds, it is a whole different story. Worlds felt like you were just fighting either dragons, wyverns, dinosaurs, big lizards, and big dogs. But so far in Wilds, I have fought a big frog, a hippo gorilla, some big dog weird cat thing, a lightning dragon, 2 different spiders, a weird gas bug, and that is just to name a few. Each monster feels super unique, and they all have unique attacks that make them all a joy to fight. One thing that I think this game also does a good job is the scaling of the difficulty of the monsters. This game is pretty easy for a veteran player like me, but it has always been like that when it comes down to the main story of Monster Hunter. But I feel like this is a great game to introduce to new players of the series, as all the monsters scale really well with the difficulty. The monsters you fight get progressively harder, and I would say the one roadblock that many new players will have is Uthduna, because goddamn is that thing an annoying thing to fight. It's already a pretty massive monster, which is always annoying, but it gets bigger with the water cloak it gets, and it blocks damage from your attack and pushes you away from the monster further, which gives you no place to attack it unless you attack the head or hit the cloak a bunch of times to destroy it. It was the only monster that took my life twice. But again, so far, the monsters all feel super fun to fight and offer such a unique battle. Why are you even fighting these monsters though? Obviously, this game has a story, and how good is it so far? Again, I didn't finish the story yet, but it's not bad, but it isn't crazy over the top story. It has never been that way with Monster Hunter anyways. It usually consists of, oh, there is someone in trouble, kill the monster. Oh, we are going to a new location, kill the monster. Oh, there's a weather anomaly happening, go kill the monster. Oh, there is a go kill the monster. There is an overarching story as well, and it's fairly interesting, but I won't spoil it for you as it is the only story this game really has. In general, playing for the story is not why people love the game. It is a reason why some stay with it, but it isn't the main reason. Something I wasn't expecting in this game was the main character having dialogue options when talking to characters. Oh my god, we got dialogue options? Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I was saying that too, like, what the hell? This is a Monster Hunter first.
It isn't much, but it is some interesting content to get a feel of what a character may be feeling, who they are, why they are here, and so on. It brought some life to your character and also to the characters that you interact with in the main story. It doesn't really change the gameplay or is required to do, but if you like more interaction with the characters, I think this is a great way to do so. I also love the customization you have in this game. I have seen so many characters made in this game, and I also made my own character of Katarina from League to Play. Every single thing you get, like a base camp to your mount and your palico, there is a bunch of customization you can do. We talked a lot about the good of the game, but what about some of the bad? You should already know this, but this game is a tough game to run. I had to get a new CPU for this game as it is pretty processor heavy, and of course it is GPU heavy as well. The game looks absolutely stunning, but even with my computer with these specs, ultra settings with everything basically to the max except the high resolution textures, this game runs at 60 FPS 1080p for the most part, dipping sometimes lower in some spots, but overall consistent in hitting above 60 FPS. This is a downside to some players as the player base will be lower just because they can't run the game at all. But as the game lives on, I am not surprised as it becomes more and more optimized that it will eventually be able to run on most machines with older setups. I hate that the game gets mixed reviews for this as yes, it is an issue that people can have, but it was well known before the game was released that you need a pretty good computer to run it. You could have either did the benchmark test or the beta to see if you could run the game on launch. Understandable to complain about this, but not deserved the mixed reviews on Steam. Have I encountered any bugs? How about crashes and some graphical issues? So far, I haven't found any bugs that stopped the gameplay or any bugs in general. I have crashed once so far out of the 8 hours I have played and experienced some graphical anomalies that only happen often, usually once every 2 to 3 hours. Again, this game is absolutely stunning. Every area looks unique and pretty with amazing attention to detail. The way the game connects all these areas is way better compared to something like Worlds, and the open world concept feels so much better for a game like Monster Hunter Wilds rather than area-based. This game is super enjoyable to play alone, but nothing can compare to playing with friends. Monster Hunter has always been a social game, and beating a monster to a pulp with more people is always a fun thing to do. I recommend getting your friends to play this game, as I think it is one of the best Monster Hunter games for newer players, with the scaling and overall ease of gameplay. So, should you play this game? Absolutely, if you have the chance. I know some may not be able to run it, but once you can, with the new optimization, which will come out, you should definitely give it a try. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing or leaving a like. Share any opinions you want in the comments, and I hope you can see why Monster Hunter Wilds is my game of choice for the next couple of months. And maybe I have tempted you into giving it a try. See you in the next video, and take care.